Hi, welcome to an OpenLM tutorial on the migration tool. The OpenLM server comes with an embedded database, which is typed Firebird. Once you finish your evaluation, you would probably like to move on to an external database such as MySQL or SQL Server. So in order to do that switch, you'll need the migration tool. So let's see how it is deployed and how it is used. So this machine is our OpenLM server machine. We downloaded data migration and extracted it here. So all we need to do is double click it, and we'll first need to install Firebird. As you remember, the embedded database is a Firebird database, and currently you don't have anything on your machine that can run this. Only OpenLM server runs it privately. So you need to install some kind of service that runs that database. And that service is exactly the Firebird server. So if you go inside the data migration folder into Firebird, you can see the Firebird server. Now let's install that so we'll be able to connect to our database. So it's a simple click next, 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 next installation. Don't even need to read anything. Just next, 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 install. Again, next. Start Firebird service now. Finish. Now, where is our database? Usually the Firebird database is located inside C, Program Files 86, OpenLM, OpenLM Server, and DB. So this is the Firebird database. But if we try to access it now, we won't be able to do that. Why is that? Because, as I said before, the OpenLM server is holding on to that database, is locking it. So what we'll need to do is go to Services and stop the OpenLM server service. Make sure that it's not running. Now, what we'll need to do is head back to the data migration folder and click Run GUI. Double click, and this interface will open. Now we have two sides to this. We have the source database, which is a Firebird database on this host with this port, with this username. The password just leave as it is. Select the database by clicking this button. Choose the database and click Open. Now click Connect. If it does not connect, that means that the OpenLM server is running or that the Firebird server is not running. Now what about this side? We want the destination to be MS SQL in this case, but as you can see, it can be any type of database to any type of database. So our MS SQL host is right there. This is its port. That's the username. That's the password. But wait, what's the database? We didn't create the database at all. So we'll need to create the destination database. So the data will have somewhere to go to. So let's minimize this and go to our SQL server. We'll right-click Databases, New Database, and let's create a database called DemoDB. Click OK. Then go to DemoDB, right-click on it, and then click Properties. Go to Options and change the collation to be something else than case insensitive. You'll need to set it to be case sensitive. CS means case sensitive. So let's click on that. Click OK. But if you open up the database and check out its tables, well, no tables. We just created that database. It doesn't have any tables yet. Now, the migration tool doesn't create the tables. The OpenLM server creates the tables. So let me show you how. Now we need to create the tables inside here. So let's go back to the OpenLM server and either search for upgrade OpenLM database from earlier versions, or just click on the Start button, go to OpenLM, upgrade OpenLM database from earlier versions. Just click it, and it shows us that we will update the database to 4426. But which database? So we click Continue. And we don't want to upgrade the Firebird database. We want to create tables in the SQL Server. So let's select SQL Server. Input all the information we need. User ID, password. Click here to see the names. And demo DB. We can test to see that it's successful. And apply. Now it runs the upgrade. And upgrade on an empty database means that it creates all the tables needed. So let's go back to the SQL Server, right-click on the database, and refresh. Now we see all the tables in the database, but these tables are empty. So we'll need to use the migration tool now in order to migrate the data to there. So let's go back to the OpenLM server machine. And now let's fill in the database name. Now here you can either input the port or the instance, but don't do both. Either port or instance. So let's click Connect, Connect, and Start. Now this will run for, well, it might be between a few minutes to a few hours. It really depends on the size of your database. If you have a large database, it will take more time to transfer. But if you see these errors at the beginning of the migration, don't be alarmed. It's okay. These are to be expected, and these go away, and the process starts after about 2 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video right now and just let it run. And we'll see what we'll need to do in order to connect OpenLM to the new database. And now the data migration finished successfully. How do we know that? We'll see this line, data migration finished successfully. Now we can close this tool. And now all we have left to do is connect the OpenLM server to the new external database. So again, we can search for database configuration, or we simply click the Start button, go to OpenLM, and OpenLM database configuration. Click on that. And now we have a similar screen to what we have before, but this is the database configuration, not the upgrade. So let's choose where we want OpenLM to be connected to. So now by default it says that OpenLM is connected to this database by default. A Firebird database, the embedded one, we don't want that. We want to change it to SQL Server, and we'll give it all the credentials so it can connect. Let's select our database, DemoDB, click Apply, and that's it. Now you have OpenLM running on an external database, either MySQL or SQL Server. And that's it. Thanks. Bye.